look, I wanted to go on about an interesting conversation. Obviously, we've had a really nice start to the podcast today, but I want to speak to you guys about Benzema because I just realized he scored, the 324th goal of his Real Madrid career. It's now second on the all-time list, and
Cristiano.
And the funny thing is, number one is Cristiano, and it just reminded me. I hate to go back to some life bits, but consistency is everything in life. He's been there. He doesn't hit you as the greatest Real Madrid player when you look at him or when you think about him. You don't think about Benzema as the greatest Real Madrid player, one of the greatest Real Madrid players. You think about Benzema as a very good footballer, but you never tempted to put him in the echelons of Thierry Henry or something like that. You just put him in his place. And I was watching Carlo Ancelotti's press conference yesterday after the game, and he mentioned that Benzema is the most efficient player in the world. And it got me thinking about some of the most efficient players I've seen in my life as well. I think that when you look at the stats for a guy, example Drogba has, he didn't score a ton of goals. But I doubt there are many big football moments between 2004 to 2012, right, that Drogba was not at the center. So who's the most efficient footballer that you remember?
Currently playing or still?
Currently, or that you remember, I think.
Yeah. I thought that was a value. It's huge.
If you talk about right now,
Maybe think long and hard about
this.
Benzema.
I know I have Philip Lam somewhere in my head because I think Philip
I was going to say that. I was going to say Frank Lampard.
I have Philip Lam somewhere in my head.
Frank Lampard goes in there, definitely.
Yeah.
I think Philip Lam was...
You're right, because I have him on my script as well.
Philip Lam, when Pep Guardiola... I know Pep Guardiola says a lot of, Lampard, gives a lot of Lampard. But when Pep says you're the most intelligent footballer he's coached...
Yeah.
I think it means a lot. And because...
Forget, you don't talk shit at Lamba. Moving on.
No, but I don't think this is Lamba. I said he says a lot of Lamba, but this one was not Lamba.
I don't think it's Lamba. Because
Philip Lam
he is
was...
intelligent, but the most
Philip
intelligent
Lam was...
ever coached. I mean, there's an extra and
To be a fullback in your whole career,
that's the thing.
To be a fullback,
Carry him
to
out.
train to be a fullback for a long time, growing up, you're a fullback, and to switch positions into central midfield and not look out of place. It takes a lot of intelligence.
Bro, not
many players can do it.
Not everybody go.
Kimmich.
No, you have to say the Yoruba
Kimmich has
expression.
done-
but
Kimmich done the do am now.
No, but before
he learns from-
before Lam did it.
Funnily, Kimmich was not that
You get, I was
good
going
a
to mention
fullback.
Kimmich as well.
He wasn't
He was
that,
what?
He wasn't that good a fullback.
Bro, are you joking?
It was a right back.
No, hold on a sec. So I think that Kimmich wasn't necessarily Dani Alves.
No, he wasn't.
At right
No,
back.
what
No,
I'm
he
saying
wasn't.
is at the level where he, at his best as
The
a right back, he
progression
was
was
the
there.
best that time.
No, he was very good.
Yeah.
Very
he was
good.
the best. He
But
was one of
I
the
don't
best.
see him.
At
I
least for
don't
two
see
seasons,
Kimmich.
one or two seasons.
I don't think he's generational talent
No, he's not.
at right back.
Look,
No.
that's the thing.
No,
That's the thing.
I don't
You
think so.
being an efficient player doesn't mean generational talent.
No, he doesn't.
Efficient.
No, efficient means...
Do you understand?
In my understanding means
Day in, day out. Step up.
adaptability,
Liqueta.
adaptability, consistency.
That's efficient.
Every time you see James Milner on a
God bless
pitch,
you. That's another
James
name.
Milner won't do you 9
Frank
over 10
Lampard,
every
man.
time. James Milner will do you 8 over 10
Every time. Even if
see
you put
him.
it at 7, but it will give you every
He
time.
will give you that
Every
same
time.
level of consistency. Never seen James
That's an
Milner say,
efficient player.
"Oh, that guy had a bad game today."
You get, even if you think he's having a bad game, he's doing a
I
see.
think in every team, right? Every team had that kind of player, and the guy that comes to my mind as well is Gini Wijnaldum at Liverpool.
Yeah, Gini Wijnaldum.
Very
You know,
efficient. But you have to admit that Karim Benzema takes it 4 or 5 levels higher. Because to do it at that level,
Yeah.
where he's a star player, and with star players, never mind the spotlight of you being efficient, you're going to have the spotlight anyway. So to now perform at such a high level that it is now noticeable that you are the most efficient player. Because I looked around Europe and I can't find one player
That's a
that
star
carries,
boy.
that's a poster boy that is that efficient.
I get what you mean. I totally understand you. But there's also there's this angle that popped in my head now. It's like Benzema, and this is not me trying to take any credit away from him, right? But really, at this level, at this stage, where he's playing now, where the team he's playing in is at now, he doesn't really have a choice than to be the poster boy and to be the most efficient. You know, we used to have players who were the most efficient, who were not the sole poster boy, but they were among other poster boys, but they were still the most efficient.
Yeah.
Benzema now
If I actually say that again, can you say it?
Yeah.
This is UVA.
We used to have
He said, if I ask you to say
Q.
it.
We used to have players, right,
Just
who were
checking.
not just efficient, right?
mess.
Who were no. We used to have players who were the most efficient, but who were not just the only star boys. They were among the other star boys,
Yeah.
but they were still the most efficient.
Lakule says
So
it
now,
again.
you understand? So now Benzema.
No be.
But do I call a lot of you wrong?
No be everybody God.
Not us.
You know, so and I said I'm not trying to take any credit away from Benzema, but Benzema also needed like people left. So now
He needed to step up.
He needed to step up when he's now he's the biggest boy there.
I think I
So he
totally
doesn't have
agree.
a choice.
I totally agree with you. He also came out to say something which I now kind of understand. He's not the old-fashioned number 9 anymore.
Yeah, he's not.
I think what he's now defined as a number 9 for Real Madrid is what he's also saying and putting pressure on Carlo Ancelotti and the board is that Real Madrid don't need another striker because as a striker in Real Madrid now, you're not going to stay in the middle. You're going to be involved in the play. At
Because they don't play like that.
Exactly. At 34, 35, Benzema is everywhere in the final third for Real Madrid. He's dropping back, getting involved in the midfield. He's on the left, he's on the right, working with
So
Vinicius
even
or
if
whoever.
you sign somebody,
Exactly. So
even
what
if
he's
you
saying,
need to
even
sign
if you don't
somebody,
sign, what he's saying is that even if he doesn't play, Asensio will play false 9.
that's what I'm saying. If you sign somebody, you will
Vasquez
need to
will
play like that.
Exactly. You have to play that. You have to come and be involved in the team.
Yeah.
You have to be involved in the
They're
team.
not born, you
The
make you go
transition
stand
play
there, they pass,
can't
wait, make
stand.
person pass ball,
Haaland,
give you.
for example, a Haaland or a Darwin Nunez would struggle in the Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Right?
Is that
And
something?
the
Is that,
way-
is that-
I agree.
is that something he learns or had to adapt to because of Cristiano?
I think it was an adaptation.
or
yeah.
because I remember Karim Benzema.
He wasn't like that
No.
before.
Yeah, no.
Benzema,
Leon?
Benzema and Leon was
Just
out
goals,
and out
goals.
assassin. He was the guy. I saw him against United, and I know one of the regrets. I think Rio Ferdinand said it that Sir Alex regrets not signing Benzema.
No, we chased Benzema all our life. We couldn't quite get him.
At Leon, he was the guy who was just lethal in the final third, just
Yeah.
anywhere around the
It was
box.
like what Haaland is now.
You know, he was
Young
deadly.
and wicked.
Went to Real Madrid, and then there was Ronaldo. I think they signed him in the same summer with
Yeah,
Ronaldo.
09.
I think they signed him a season before Ronaldo.
No, same
They
summer.
signed same summer.
Oh, really?
Same summer.
Same
09.
summer.
Yeah.
I think he came before
They
Ronaldo.
signed-
guys.
No. They signed a lot of big boys that same summer.
No, because
09.
I
It was
know
Ronaldo, Kaká.
Higuain. I know Higuain
Kaká
was,
too, yes.
I know Higuain was there. Higuain was there. So when he went to Real Madrid, it was almost difficult. Ronaldo had to play, and you know I think there was Higuain at the club at the time.
Yeah.
So it was quite difficult. So he had to adapt his game to the reality on ground. You can't be number 9 here. So it was quite tough. But to see what he's doing, and like Yubi said, to be able to do it at this level consistently, it's quite incredible. It's just unbelievable what he's been able to do in the past few years. And
And the funny thing, he's not the most powerful player. You know.
Yeah.
I watch him. He's not the most powerful guy. He's not the quickest guy.
he's not. He's most likely not going to twerk with defenders. You know,
Yeah,
when, like
he's not
Lacazette
gonna-
would do.
yeah.
He's not going to.
correct.
Same summer, yeah?
He doesn't.
Same,
Yeah,
with
Cristiano.
09. Yeah.
Yeah.
09, yeah.
He doesn't pin himself to defenders. That's why he drags defend. That's why it's
know,
very
them out
difficult
of
to
position.
play with
You
him.
know what you just said about not the most powerful guy is actually very important. Also,
You said that.
Sorry. Also, like, I think it's also like a point of learning for young players. Because when you are coming up, you see the game and you think, look, I need to bulk up. I need to be strong. Yes, you need to be to a particular level.
Yeah.
But I think you have to also understand that if you don't focus on, I need to be strong so much, you would subconsciously have to train your mind to be smarter. Because now you know that you are not so strong.
Yeah.
You need to use your brain to get out of difficult
Case
situations.
in study, David Silva.
David Silva.
David Silva, David Beckham as well.
I've never liked players who focus on, just being
Power.
getting
and,
strong
and
getting
that's true
strong.
because there's a lot of emphasis on athleticism
He's got to toughen up
in
a
the
little
game.
bit.
you know.
He's got
Yeah.
to toughen up.
you know. and you watch Benzema, you're thinking he's not worried about
Yeah.
making the big runs, you know, but he makes the right runs. And
Martin Tyler said, Karim Benzema doesn't stay in the area, he arrives in the area.
But you have to give a lot of credit to Cristiano. He changed his diet. That's why he's a fit machine. At 34 going to 35 guys. What Benzema, what we're saying, he's a very strong guy.
Oh, he did. He also did mention.
He's a lean machine.
He did mention that he learned a lot from
and-
Cristiano
yeah,
as well.
so
Yes, now,
that's
no,
the
that
thing
one
now.
is a standard. If you want to perform at that level, don't worry. You have to be disciplined with
Not
your.
Exactly. You can't
this
be
one.
doing that.
Not this one somewhere that saying he's hampering the growth of the players.
Yeah. There's
Madness.
that. Another player who doesn't look like slowing down. And I looked at Real Madrid's team.
Scary.
There's a guy, the reporter for beIN, I think it was BT actually, put a question to Carlo and said, what's the trick to Real Madrid's style, and how are your players able to do what they do? Because you watch them and you think immediately, the key thing about them is Kroos, Modric, Casemiro. I still think going into the season, they dominate anybody in midfield. The key thing to them is anticipation and winning the ball back at the right time. They can look like they're passive in the game. All of a sudden, they win the ball back from you.
Experience is too
And
much.
Ancelotti said, for something I coincidentally tweeted this morning, when you work with a couple of people for a very long time, you know almost what they're going to do and how they're going to move.
Yeah.
Said the reason they win the ball back that easily, even with so-called aged legs, is because they know where each other is or are, right? There's something they do which a lot of teams don't do. They play the inverted triangle a lot. So normally Real Madrid play 4-1-3-1, which is you have Casemiro at the base, you have Luka Modric to the right, Kroos to the left, and of course you have the attacking players, right? But what they do a lot of times is sometimes they flip the triangle and make Kroos and Modric the base and take Casemiro to the front.
Yeah, he goes to
You
press
get-
high.
So sometimes he goes to press high and they win the ball back.
Yeah.
Sometimes they go to press high, wins the ball back. So it's like the triangle.
But most times, sorry to interrupt, most times, what's it called? Kroos sits as the
Kroos.
register.
Yeah,
as the deep line playmaker.
I think
No, but
Remaining
That
push
guy is
forward.
Rolls Royce.
But now more
I
than
love him.
now more than ever, the roles I challenge you to take a look at Real Madrid's play in the biggest game. The roles are so much interchangeable that you cannot really say that this is the
person-
guy
yes,
I
yeah.
think here
It is.
constantly.
I think what is the bottom line of how that midfield operates is they're constantly moving. So on every side of the pitch, the triangle would always almost appear.
They struggled against City, Sha.
Now you see where I'm going.
Casemiro
Where I'm going is
struggled
where I'm going
against
is so
City. They
when
were
they now
lucky.
play it, that's why the only time to really overwhelm them, if they play a team that can outrun them,
Yeah, legs. Of
that will
course.
keep going,
You have legs in midfield.
bang, 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 bang to the end of the game, they'll struggle. Because aside that, you see those three guys, Kroos, Modric, Casemiro, the triangle would always appear on anywhere on the field.
Yeah.
And I was going to also add, like, when you talked about the fact that even this season, you see these three guys are still going to be like the starters. They're still going to be the main guys. I fear for these guys that they signed.
No, don't fail.
No.
That's the transition
no,
that they
no,
did,
I
though.
know.
I don't worry,
that was the
Wait,
plan.
wait.
Real Madrid
Okay.
have sorted themselves out for 10
Calm
years.
down.
Now,
calm
smartness,
down,
okay,
calm
go on,
down,
go
calm
on.
down,
Still get
calm
sense,
down,
oh.
calm down.
Sense, oh.
Calm down,
Sense
calm
of Real
down,
Madrid.
calm down. I know they
want the
fear
rush
for.
again.
I know they fear for Madrid. I fear for the players when they signed. We supposed to be the transition.
But by those boys now,
Here's
young,
where I'm
small
going.
boys,
Wait,
though.
now here's where I'm going.
They are fine. They will have time. They have a lot of time and they can wait.
I get you. But where I disagree is they have a lot of time and they can wait. That's why I disagree. Because you see, the guys who currently occupy those spaces, Kroos, Modric, Casemiro. Let's talk Kroos, Modric. I don't think Kroos and Modric have ever, since they were maybe 22, 23, ever gone through the process of they have to sit down as much as these young ones are sitting down for them to be transitioned into the team. Where I'm going is, you see these boys that are sitting down waiting to be transitioned.
Yeah.
You know, with the way Kroos and Modric are playing, that's what you be said. Truly,
They
we
go
don't know
tired.
how long they can go.
No, Modric could tire out this season.
No.
38.
I saw an interview
He'll
yesterday.
chill.
I saw an interview
Yeah.
yesterday. He said, "Look,
They are going to the
no,
World
no,
Cup.
no. First of all,
see.
I don't look 37.
Modric is 37 in a couple of days,
Yeah.
in August, right?" I said, honestly, and there are people that they can tell you honestly, they're masters of the media, but Modric, I always find in his interviews to be very candid
Yeah.
and tells you just what he's thinking. Because
Very
in the
direct,
end,
yeah.
maybe everybody got called. You can't do. You can't do what I do.
can't.
If I told you all about my movement,
You no go do am.
You don't go fit do am. You understand, right? And I find him to be very candid. He said, "Look, honestly, I feel as you. I feel.
You see, to back what you just said up, in 2018, the World Cup, we were all so surprised that Modric was playing for that long, going into extra times,
agree.
back to back
Exactly.
during the knockout stages.
I agree.
Yeah.
And we all thought, look, how many years now? Bro, this is how many years after? This is 4.
I think we have to give credit to that Croatian team. Even Perisic,
Do you understand?
what's the guy? Rakitic, even the guy with the Brozovic, all of them are in their 30s.
Speaking of that,
and
speaking
they're
of
all
Rakitic,
looking like Rolls Royces.
that's a player that I don't think has gotten near enough credit.
Yeah.
Speaking of efficient players,
Rakitic.
I don't like the way Barcelona.
Speaking of Rakitic, that is one of the best
wasn't.
midfielders of the last
wasn't.
10 years.
Just change your style.
Yeah, I agree.
He was.
You can't count on.
It's
You
unfortunate.
can't count on one hand
I know.
the midfielders that will pick over him.
Yeah.
It will be hard
That are that effective.
in the Premier League now.
Proper
I pick
baller.
only Kevin De Bruyne over him.
There's
Proper
hardly
baller.
anything. You know, midfielders.
Right.
I always say that
Bernardo Silva.
when you look at midfield, when you look at midfielders and their specialties, like you could tell, you could say Xhaka can pass the ball very well, but he can't really defend. You could say, oh, this guy he can do this, but he can't really do this. With Rakitic, it was the case of I can do everything.
Almost everything.
And there's nothing you could look at me and say, that's a weak part of him, because he could pass the ball, he could tackle, he could strike, he
score.
could run, he could score.
But that's the weakness with specialization, because back in the day, when footballers were growing up, there was not a need to microanalyze players and their roles, right?
Yes, true.
So that generation of players, you had to do everything excellently well.
You get
right? I hate to bring this back here, right? I hate to bring this back here. We work on TV together, and I see lots of young people now. It's like a global trend. There's a need to specialize, and I love the fact that sometimes you could be the best at something, and that's important. You have to know that this is what I'm the best at. If that question is put forward to you,
Yeah.
but it's important to know how to do lots of things.
Other things,
Yeah, so look, I never saw the problem in you being maybe a number 2 and they say go play as a number 4 or go play number 7. I'm telling you,
That's
I
because
never
we
saw
grew
a
up watching
problem.
that. The late Muda Lawal could play as a midfielder, could play as a striker, could play as a right back. That's
Because
how
the
crazy-
basis was understanding the game. You have the ball, you pass, your positioning when you don't have the ball, but also you have to work hard. So I never saw like the problem with, no, this is where I can play. I cannot really play here. So
you hear things in modern day now. You hear things that they're playing him out of position. But by how much did they pay you?
Or he needs the player to unlock his potential.
Are you paying out
out of the back.
You have fullback. They say go and play left back. They're playing out of position. No, they're telling you to go and farm. Is it not football they are asking you to play?
I find that is one of the biggest struggles that managers like Jose have with the current generation, is that gap between specialization and the overimportance on that.
Yeah.
For example, we all work in the media space, right? I host, I present, I can anchor, and honestly, till this day, if you ask me which I prefer to do, analyze or anchor, I don't know. Right? Maybe if you press me for it, right? if you press me for it, I think that if you have a very good anchor, I'd rather analyze. Because I love to speak about the game. Because when you're hosting, you can't speak about the game as much.
I don't like
But
anchoring.
you see,
I won't lie.
I find that in and we're probably the last generation as well of that kind of where you could do a lot of things. Because I see you host shows, and I see you analyze, and it's the same thing. I don't find a difference. That drop in quality is not apparent.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with footballers back in the day, right? Which is the huge problem England had back in the day with Steven Gerrard and Lampard. Because they could do everything so well, it was hard to say, you sit.
Yeah.
Discipline.
Yeah, it was hard to say, you sit. Because they
While
could do,
I go.
You know
Who do
what?
you tell?
Who do you
Lampard
tell
and
to sit?
you don't
They're
arrive.
not special.
Stay.
They are both.
These guys can both score from outside.
You get.
So, it's
Both
like,
So
are
do you
engine
shoot yourself
rooms.
in the foot and say, if the ball 89 minutes arriving in the final third, who do you want to
do you
strike the
want?
ball?
So Kunle, really?
Gerrard or Lampard could do it easily.
Gerrard should have sat during that period. Gerrard was more defensive inclined. Lampard should
But
have
They were
been.
the same age.
Gerrard
could
tackle.
defend
He could
much
defend
more
better.
than Lampard.
No,
Yes,
Gerrard was quicker than Lampard.
Gerrard's more athletic than Lampard.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yes, yes.
In a 50 meters run,
Gerrard,
Gerrard would
yeah,
beat
yeah,
Lampard.
yeah.
So I get the point where
No,
probably
should have
Gerrard would
just
have.
chill.
But Gerrard will back
Sacrifice.
himself that.
Back himself and say, look.
No, Gerrard will back himself that technically. I was slightly better than Lampard.
You understand?
You know, slightly better. So,
But Lampard, they score past
But,
me.
but Lampard, you see
see
Lampard.
what I mean?
So
But you see- but
they're not
you see
players
that
like
thing,
Lampard
right?
anymore. They don't
Exactly.
make them like Lampard
they don't make
anymore.
that
You see?
anymore.
But you see, to come back to where this conversation started,
We have to make the move
I was talking about
to the preview.
yes. I was talking about.
You have Mike Ward.
I was talking about the small boys
see?
that Madrid supposedly bought as the guys who would fill the roles. That
You
Madrid
think
can.
they won't have the patience?
Worry about your club.
not just. I'm not talking the players.
Barca,
I'm not talking.
100%.
Yes, leave them. I'm not talking about the players not being patient. Look, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're at Real Madrid, you don't see anywhere else that is better. You're at Real
Abi,
Madrid. That's the apex. So
They pay
left
you
to the
better
players,
money
you
like
get left
this.
to the players. They want to remain there. But I'm saying like they might need to sit on the bench. And they might have to sit on the bench long enough for them not to be as good as Modric, Cruz, who are currently there.
I'll tell you the answer to that as
That's basically what I'm
as we move on to the previews, right? I wanted to give the Super League the justice it deserves, and Carlo Ancelotti, I think, is the greatest manager of all time. I have to say. There's in European football.
Hands up.
Yeah, he is.
Hands up.
I have to
Hands
say,
up.
right?
Don
Right,
Carlo.
Don
There
Carlo.
are some bad boys, but let's not.
No, that's some
And
bad guys.
There are some bad guys.
He's the
He's got
greatest.
his son seated
You
very
get-
closely
You know,
to
just look.
him. Really nice.
You don't. Not many write that kind of fairy tale.
You know,
right?
really
not,
nice.
Not many. Right?
Does he go on to become a manager in the future?
Oh yeah, I think
boy, he has to
be now.
absolutely.
He's learning a lot from the
But
master.
Just to answer that, I find that at the top level, the appearance you have, the 20 minutes appearance cameo you have at Real Madrid is, and the demands of that 20 minutes is equivalent to the 80 minutes you have at, say,
Brighton.
no, not Brighton, that's a level too low. I say PSG.
It's true, but not all the time.
No, for most of the time. So take, for example, Rodrigo,
Yeah.
Camavinga.
That's what came to
That
Rodrigo
example-
came to my mind.
Wait, Camavinga and everyone here, but
those players
Rodrigo
last
good.
year, what they did by coming on and showing and proving the reason why Real Madrid signed them is equivalent to what many run around the Premier League playing for a top club, maybe Man United, all their life. What those guys did, Martial exchanges 8 years of his career for no. I'm serious. So you have to
Straight
appreciate.
bullet, don't catch him.
So even as a young player, you have to appreciate and be ready for moments like that at Real Madrid.
I
If, for
agree.
example, Lakule, you went and all of a sudden started working for, a phenomenal broadcaster like CNN, the 5 minutes you get on CNN World Sports, right, is, equivalent to the radio time you do.
God bless
You
you.
know,
So
for
I-
a month in
I'm
Nigeria.
quite happy.
So you have to appreciate
No. I'm quite happy that you
that
brought
you are not
that
going
you brought
to
the
always be
CNN
there
part.
at the top level.
I'm quite happy that you brought the CNN part because I was looking for the best analogy and then you served me one.
Yeah,
So
brilliant.
you see,
He's learning from the best. He's
Yes.
sitting.
You have to give me-
been around
I've
me
been
long
inspiring.
this small time where
Yeah.
where they
Now they rub off each other.
Because I read this work.
So you see, with the CNN thing that you said, it is true. The 5 minutes that you get on CNN, naturally, in terms of what it does for your optics, for your branding, for all those things, would be equivalent to the 1 hour, whatever that you get here.
Yeah.
But what I'm talking about is the development that you need to become another Modric or another Cruz.
You're not gonna be another Modric. Don't try.
No. Of course, you are not going to be, but I'm saying like to be able to. So, you see, me being on CNN for 5 minutes, I tell you, as far as I'm concerned, is not going to prepare me, right, to become Cristiano Mampo. Or what's her name?
Yeah,
that's correct.
Correct.
It's not good. That's what I'm saying. So for me to become that, I need to have proper mental development.
No, I don't believe that.
Psychological.
But the answer is
and even
Carlo
skills.
Ancelotti.
Now,
The answer
wait.
is Carlo Ancelotti.
Hustle.
No, that
As
can't
long
be
as
the
he
answer.
remains manager,
That's even not guaranteed.
those boys are going to learn a lot.
That's even not guaranteed. Remember,
sure.
that's not even guaranteed. Remember, because a lot of these young boys came on under Zinedine Zidane, and the moment Zinedine Zidane left, some of them stunted and nowhere. Lucas Vasquez, Marco Asensio,
Odegaard.
Odegaard, and all these people. So that's not even guaranteed. So you
Odegaard's not
can't
Real
look to
Madrid
the
level.
So you can't look.
Let's be fair. It's not.
The same way Fede Valverde, I don't think Fede
Toni Kroos
Valverde
and
is at Real
Modric.
Madrid level.
See.
I don't think
But
Fede
let me answer
Valverde.
something
No, but it comes from
I
there.
don't
Let me
think
answer-
Fede Valverde is
No,
at
it
Real
comes from
Madrid
their
level.
youth-
What
it
can-
comes
what
from
do you
their
know
youth
that he
system.
can do?
It comes from their
Let me
youth
answer.
system.
He gives
Hard
them-
worker.
We spent
Yeah,
about an
he's a
hour.
hard worker.
Every player gives legs.
we spent
Not
about
every player.
Hold on. We spent 55 minutes, right? And I think it's only right. This is our first episode since the season started, right? Like, after season started.
It is sweet.
Shouts to Jide and IBK and the rest there's last week. The answer to that is
You see, they go talk.
no. Just
I thought you were moving on.
we have to move on, right?
Yeah.
But
Because we're moving on,
because
I'll just let it go. But I knew what I wanted to say.
Like
Mike Warner has to say the final
I said, I'm the guy listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts is thinking, I would love to hear the conclusion of that, which is what I'm serving him, right?
You get? How do you know that's my
Go for
conclusion?
it. Go for it. Shut up.
It's
Might one problem,
called
stop
agenda
Imagine I don't do fast like
agenda
this.
setting and the power of the media,
Allow the man.
right?
Allow the man.
So the 5 minutes you have on CNN World Sports, what it does for you is you realize very early on in your career that you have one take a lot of the times to deliver. So what does it do for you? It makes you improve your delivery and makes you realize that
Good point.
if you deliver one good point, that
Everybody's
keeps
going to know.
everybody's going to know.
Yeah.
Than trying a
drink
couple of things, which is what a guaranteed slot allows you to do. When you have a guaranteed slot in the team, you're not going to play this week because it's time for £80 million. You come into the game thinking and knowing that you're probably going to play the next game. So if I don't try that, if that killer pass, if I'm trying to practice a Rabona that is going to become a true pass in the game, I don't get it in the training session, I'll have next week to execute it on the field. At a big club, you know, the one time they bring you on 86 minutes, the one pass you make or the box-to-box run you make has to end up most likely in a chance. XG. As people call
I don't
it.
go the one statement. I don't go waste time.
It streamlines
Maybe
your
off your mic,
ability.
if you pass one
Yes,
statement.
that's
I don't go waste time. What you're saying makes sense, but I don't have enough time. All I'm going to say is there's a difference between getting 5 minutes in the game or 10 minutes in the game when the game is on a knife edge and when the game has already been won. That's one. Which also means there's a difference between being the news reporter during the prime time of, say, 7 p.m., 8 p.m., or 10 p.m. at night or early in the morning and being the guy who does the short news reports in the middle of the drive time when music is going on. So you just
Breaking
do 20
news
seconds
kind of stuff.
and then the music continues. There's a difference between that. That's all I'm saying.
Believe me, you have no idea what you just said. But it's fine. But it's fine.
Makes sense,
And we move on.
Please,
Right?
move on.
It's fine and we move on.
And also is that you can't. It means that you can't have a bad game, and that's unfair.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. There's a difference between being the cameo
Guess-
when the game is
no,
on a
no,
knife
no,
edge
no.
Not possible.
and when the game is already won.
No,
Thank you, Wale, for that insight.
That's good.
Because
But
at Tuesday they talk
but
nonsense.
guess who is happy?
Because you don't understand my analogy.
I actually got it.
But guess who is
People are
happy?
going along, Verona.
No.
Don't be all of us God call now.
Maybe all of us got called. But guess who is happiest? Who wins? The Real Madrid fan wins because the standards are here. They don't care how you have to do it.
Yes, now the fans, of course.
and the club,
They don't give
is
a
actually about
fuck
the
how you have to
fans.
do it. When you
club
come
is
on the
actually
pitch,
about the fans.
What you said is you care
Me, I'm talking about the player.
You get,
I'm talking about the player.
I, as a fan, I don't give a fuck about the player. When you come on in the 90th minute,
They
if
play
you don't
them
do
now.
well, get out.
get the fuck out of the team.
Yes, now.
They do have for free.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree
Why
with
were
that.
substitutions created for you to come and change the game?
I
really,
agree with
so-
that 100%, right? I agree with that 100%.
Moving on,
right?
Mike one.
We've got to move on.
I love this Mike one
We
thing.
are, no. I have to level it. right.
We have to live in it.
Topping up with some
I like the ingenuity.
hindsight juice.
Because I thought you collected money from these guys, but I thought I saw that you made a very
pouring
you
on
know,
some hindsight
refill.
juice.
One of the best things I saw growing up was airplanes refilling mid-air. I'm telling you, it was magic. It was magical.
Like fuel, all right?
Refilling
nice.
mid-air, right?
All right, guys. I'm a man that needs no introduction on this show. It remains the Hindsight Podcast. When it comes to talking sport, when it comes to talking football all around the world, you get the best information from this particular podcast. You can always join us online, on YouTube, on IG, anywhere online. You can always join. Even on Clubhouse, we're there for you to dish you the best information when it comes to sport all around the world. Stay tuned always.
Cloud. Reach out.